Yeah, you're alone because you hit 40 and slept with a lot of dudes. And it's obvious to us you're a whore. Don't be surprised you're not wanted.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Pranzata Podcast. This is your host, Andrea Pranzatelli. This is episode number 137 on the Pranzata Podcast on YouTube. Today is going to be a very fun episode. We have my lovely assistant and friend Stephanie here today. She baked from scratch this amazing looking cake. Can you tell everybody what this cake is made of?
Yes, it is a buttermilk chocolate cake with orange and almonds and filled with and coated with a rich chocolate buttercream frosting.
It sounds fucking amazing. I'm going to include a picture of it so you guys can see it up close and personal. This cake is way too beautiful to not look at. But besides us eating this cake, we are also going to respond to the hate comments. We are going to respond directly to the haters and the hate comments that were left on my channel. So I'm very excited about this episode. And just to talk about who Stephanie is, she is very talented. I mean, this cake she made is beautiful. She's beautiful. She's super intuitive. She's very spiritually intuitive. She's very kind. Everybody loves her. She literally, I work with her and there's always a line of people like waiting to vent their problems to her. And I always have to wait in the line. And if the line's too long, I'll just be like, I'll call you later. So I'm very privileged to have Stephanie here today to be the assistant for these hate comments, you know, being that she has people venting to her all the time. She is used to all kinds of stuff. So before we get into it, if you are new to this channel and you like what you hear today, please don't forget to hit subscribe. It is my mission to be a full-time podcaster, and every single subscriber helps me get closer to reaching the goal of that mission. Okay, so hate comment number 1, and please don't be shy to include their name as well.
All right. This is from Carrie Boren. Great piano, horrific tattoos.
Okay, so first of all, I want to say that I should have shown my tattoo, but I'll probably put a picture so people can watch it. I love my tattoos, but it's totally irrelevant to my piano playing. Imagine if I went to see the Rolling Stones and I was like, you know what? Mick Jagger did a great performance, but his hair looked like shit that day. You're going to see that there's a lot of tattoo comments. Like a lot of men are really triggered by the tattoos. So I don't know if it's like because if a woman has a sleeve of tattoos, it's something masculine. Like it's they see it as something masculine in a way, and it makes them feel emasculated to see a powerful woman. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is, but people listening in the comment section, please tell me, why are you triggered by a woman with tattoos? Why do you think some of these men are triggered by women with tattoos? I'm curious to see your guys' take on it. But anyways, on to the next.
All right. Damn dog 8629. If you going to talk about politics, do some research. Harris did refer to herself being black. Trump didn't lie. If you want to reach 1,000 subscriptions, you have to tell the truth.
Okay, so first of all, if I want to reach 1,000 subscribers, I have to tell the truth. Too late, bitch. I already got 1,000 subscribers and counting. But secondly, I think it's really interesting that this is the first time I'm talking about politics on my channel, pretty much for the most part, since I've had this channel. And I'm taking a very agnostic approach about politics on this channel, meaning I'm trying to fairly assess and analyze both sides and give pros and cons to both sides of the political spectrum. And I find it super interesting how by trying to be fair, I'm actually getting hatred from both sides because I'm not agreeing completely with one side or the other. So I don't even, to be honest, I'm not even going to break down what the comment was about. Kamala did say she was black. Trump wasn't lying, because it's funny. Politics moves so fast that I actually can't even remember what that was about anymore. So I can't give specific comments about it. But yeah, all I have to say is that if you're coming to this channel to hear me talk politics in a way that's going to be gun-ho, like one direction, this is not the channel for you. This is more when I talk politics on here. And by the way, it's not a political podcast. I'm just talking politics because it's hard to ignore right now. It's such a big part of our society right now, given the current election. But when I do discuss politics, it's going to be an authentic expression of me learning as I go. And I'm not going to put 100% of my faith anywhere right now because I'm learning as I go. So I will not be 100% devout to any one candidate, and I'm going to criticize either candidate wherever I see fit. But anyways, moving on.
This is from Meg Welp. It's not a superpower. You failed generations if you didn't reproduce. You are alone and miserable, as everyone who's in your situation has always been throughout history. Doubling down and encouraging others to partake in that same misery is a selfish, toxic act.
Okay, so I want to explain to the listeners, if they don't know this story or what video clip this person is referring to, because this video clip triggered a lot of hatred from different men. So I made a video clip that said being alone is a superpower, and in the thumbnail it had a picture of me, and you know, I had a little bit of cleavage because I was doing the clickbait game of trying to attract attention on the channel. Now what the actual video was about learning how to be okay in solitude, whether or not you're in a relationship. People saw the thumbnail of that clip and they assumed I was this like hyper feminist type of person saying that women should be alone forever and should never fuck men and it's a superpower. But clearly people were triggered and they didn't even listen to the message I was trying to say. As a matter of fact, I actually challenged one of the haters and I told them that. I'm like, clearly you didn't listen to the message. And then after that, they're like, oh, I listened and I get it now. And they ended up subscribing to the channel. So okay. I've been wanting to do this. I forgot to do this in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
I want to randomly select a book, and whatever quote comes out of the book from what I randomly select is the remedy to your troubles. Okay. Ready, stop. Oh, the Bhagavad Gita. This is this is applicable. Okay, tell me when to stop, Stephanie.
Stop.
Okay. Avyayam Padam, the immortal home, the eternal goal. Pada also means foot or step, and it is of interest here to recall a myth from the Vedas. At the beginning of time, Vishnu took 3 steps that measured out the entire cosmos. The third and highest step became a heavenly world, the realm of the blessed. So that's the remedy for your troubles of thinking that and by the way, that I failed generations. Okay, that I do want to address this really quick, and then I don't want to give this one any more attention, but I think it's interesting that some women just don't want to have kids. Like I don't know yet if I want kids or not. I'm not 100% sure. But there's this idea that if a woman doesn't want to have kids, that she's failing generations. But the way I look at it is, you know, I'm still trying to figure this out as I go. But if I decide not to have kids, it will be because I believe that I could provide more to society with my skills as a worker than as a mother to one child. And I haven't figured that out yet, but I just think there's this like idea that you have to have kids in order to be a productive person in society. But what about people who have a job where they, like, I'm a fucking piano teacher. I help so many kids. I've helped hundreds, like literally I've been teaching for 10 years at this point. I've helped hundreds of kids. So why isn't that an honorable thing to do for society? Like, why does a woman have to have kids? You know, I don't know. Do you have anything to say about that?
I feel a lot of pressure to have children, especially from my in-laws.
Okay.
I've thought about it a lot, and I honestly, for me personally, I still feel like a little kid. There are things psychologically that I'm still working on, a lot of healing, and I don't want to like put that onto my child. You know?
I think a lot of people are choosing not to have kids now, but it's not always a selfish thing. I think people have this idea that if somebody chooses not to have kids, it's because they just want to like go out and party all the time. But I think realistically, everybody's broke, everybody's mentally deranged, like we're all suffering. Yeah. And rather than passing that along to another generation, we need to heal that first. Now, I might have kids, I might not, I'm not sure yet. But all I know is that if I do have kids, I want to have a lot of fucking money so I can provide them a good life. And I want to make sure that all my mental struggles struggles are alleviated again before I pass that along. So this idea that you're failing generations, I think sometimes it could go the other way. Sometimes people could just have kids without having any financial stability or any mental stability. And look at our world we live in now. Like, our generations are already failed, you know? So anyways, let's move along to the next victim.
All right. Jerry Hand.
Jerry Hand.
If you were confused, you are a sheep. And if you believed any poll, you're willing to be led by fools, just like letting the deep state tell you that bribing Biden actually won in 2020.
Bribing Biden. I don't know. I know Trump does nicknames for his opponents. I don't know if that was one of Trump nicknames. Bribing Biden. But again, I'm going to reiterate, this person thinks I'm a sheep because I didn't go 100% gung-ho on his side. Again, I said it in the beginning. I'm going to reiterate it again. This is not a political podcast at all, period. I'm just talking politics because it's on my mind right now. And when I do discuss politics, it is meant to be an open-minded conversation, giving the pros and cons of both sides and criticizing both sides. I want people to know too that I've only been following politics literally for 8 months. So you have to understand, from my perspective, I would actually be a sheep if I decided to pick a side, given that I've only been studying politics for 8 months. It would make no sense for me to just like randomly select a side and be 100% gung-ho on either side without having fully explored a lot of the questions. And I think it's going to take years to fully unpack a lot of these questions that I have. So no, I'm not a sheep. I actually think you're a sheep. Okay, so let's move on.
All right. Dane Music.
Dane Music. I like this guy.
Yeah, you're alone because you hit 40 and slept with a lot of dudes. And it's obvious to us you're a whore. Don't be surprised you're not wanted. You know you can act right, but it's hard work. Instead, you want the D and to play victim. And don't cover those tattoos if you want to stay single, because you know how men love sleeping with women that look like convicts.
Again, it's the tattoos. For some reason, the tattoos like really upset people. We were talking about this off camera before, but I was telling Stephanie that I was reading a book, and I can't remember the name of the author right now. I'm really bad at names, and I apologize for that. Maybe I'll include her name. Like, I'll research it and then like put it there if you guys care to know who she is. But in the book, the woman was talking about all the hate comments that she got on her YouTube videos that she was posting, because she was a political commentator, and kind of like what I said before, she wasn't selecting a side, and she got all this hate coming at her from both sides. But she was saying that she had this image in her head about what the people writing these comments looked like. She thought they were like young 20-year-old video gamers, like hiding away in a basement somewhere in like a dark, dingy, moldy basement. But what she found was that a lot of these people were like actual dads with kids and like doctors and people that you would not expect leaving these comments. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that whoever this person is, I don't know who it is. Dane Music. I mean, it's a musician, it sounds like. But actually read the comment again, because there was a couple other things I wanted to address in it, and I can't remember exactly what the whole comment was.
Yeah, you're alone because you hit 40 and slept with a lot of dudes. And it's obvious to us you're a whore. Don't be surprised you're not wanted. You know you can act right, but it's hard work. You want the D and to play victim. And don't cover those tattoos if you want to stay single, because you know how men love sleeping with women that look like convicts.
Is that true? What men like to... anyways, let's... The most insulting thing in this comment is the fact that he thinks I'm turned 40, because I'm actually 36 years old. So that part of it actually kind of hurts my feelings. But the other parts, you're not wrong that I want the D, because contrary to what your thing says that I'm a giant whore, I haven't had sex in an entire year. So you're not wrong about that. I do want the D because I want it from a guy who's worth getting the D from. You know what I mean? So again, this whole idea, this whole stereotype that it's just I don't even know if I want to give this more attention. This is crazy to me. It's like, because I have a tattoo, you assume I'm a whore. I just like, what part of the country do you live in? Like, I live in a city. Tattoos, like, there's literally a bar in Philadelphia called The Tattooed Mom, because like moms have literally moms have tattoos here. Dads have tattoos. Do you know the neuroscientist Andrew Huberman? He has a tattoo. Joe Rogan has a tattoo. He has like the most successful, like athletes have tattoos. Like what the fuck? Women, men, we all have tattoos now. Like I don't know what part of the country you're living in, but a woman with tattoos is not a whore. She's only a whore if it's on her forehead. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Or on her neck. No, I don't know. I mean, just like get over it. Get over it. I don't know. Let's move along. Okay, next comment.
All right. Bald Rick's cunning plan.
Yes.
This was not a review of the presidential debate. This was a failed student looking to vote for a candidate that will release them from student loan debt, and was concerned that one of the candidates would take away their freebies.
Okay, I think this guy needs a remedy just like the other one. So let's give him a remedy.
A remedy for Rick.
A remedy for Rick. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Fans and scholars have sifted through Gershwin's works over the years, panning for nuggets of Jewish motifs. To link the man to his people. And though some similarities have been charted, the chorus motif of Gershwin's 1927 song, Es Wonderful, bears a curious resemblance to Nokai's Teve Lidshit Shok. Okay, so this is called klezmer, Jewish music from the old world. And I don't know why this is a remedy to what you said, but I was just kind of going for it and hoping the gods were in my favor. Anyone in the comment section who is more clever and quick-witted than me, make a reference to why the old Jewish music would be what related to this. But anyways, so this guy was saying that I was a failed student because I was talking about student loan debt. Again, going back to what I was saying before, I am politically ambiguous, in the center politically right now. And when I was listing out the pros and cons in this video of why I would vote for a Democrat versus why I would vote for a Republican, one of the reasons that I listed as a pro for Democrats is that they are more compassionate for student loan debt. And I do not take some sort of all or nothing approach to it, by the way. I'm not saying everybody just be rid of their student loan debt. What I'm saying is that in some severe cases, like for example, if somebody has some type of serious injury, like let's say they get cancer and now they're in chemo treatments and they can't work, I think people like that should be able to file a bankruptcy for their student loans. And I don't know if people are aware of this, but you cannot file bankruptcy with your student loans. It's like extremely, extremely rare to make that possible. But to what you said, I am not a failed student. I was just giving my opinion about student loan debt. As a matter of fact, I graduated with 2 degrees, one in Spanish and one in music. That's why I have that Jewish music book. And I was a straight A fucking student, bitch. Eat it. Okay, let's move on.
All right. This is the juicy one.
This is our last one. This one is long.
This is from Junk Science Gaming.
Okay.
A red flag for most guys who are considering marriage is to a woman with tattoos. Also, if a woman has been in several relationships, that means she is mentally not safe for the long term. I'm in my late 40s and been in one relationship.
That's a fucking okay, you're in your late 40s and you've been in one relationship. That's a red flag. But anyways, carry on.
Yeah. One that means you are baiting out of your league of men to date, educational wise, looks wise, and economical wise. Most people in relationships.
Wait, pause there. So since he said so much, I'm just going to address it as we go.
Yeah.
What he's talking about, that women, some women are dating out of their league and they're trying to date out of their league. That's not wrong. I feel like a lot of women do that. But guess what? I tried to date down before. I have. And guess what happened? That person was a porn addict because they were so used to being alone. They were alone and single for so many years that they established a relationship to porn and not actual people. So by the time I dated them and I gave them a chance, they were excited to be with me at first, but then once the newness, like the honeymoon phase, wore off, they didn't give me any attention. So I fucking, contrary to your whole statement, some women actually give, the less attractive guys a chance, and they fuck it up habitually. But anyways, go on.
Most people in relationships have the same core values and fall into the same status. The biggest problem I see when it comes to women is they are entitled to a lifestyle when they have not earned it. They didn't do the due diligence that is required to become a woman who should deserve a good life. They think they should just live life and there are no lasting consequences for their actions. I get it. When you're young, it's all about looks and superficial things like stuff. Then, as you get older, it's all about stuff and status. There is an avenue that women go through.
Okay, pause there, and I'll address some of those things. First of all, the idea that you think that women haven't done their due diligence to deserve a life, how he phrased it, to deserve a worthy life, like a luxurious life. I literally pay all my own fucking bills. I live by myself. I pay for this apartment by myself. I don't have a podcast editor. I edit all my own podcasts. I'm the producer and the whole creator of this whole fucking thing. So this idea that I'm not putting in the work, and then if you want to talk about like putting in the work to be an attractive person too, like I fucking work out, I eat healthy, I take care of my health. What the fuck? Like, anyways, keep going.
Mm-hmm. There is an avenue that women go through to get where they realize that being cool with the low IQ morons of our society, as long as you are cute in a tight swimsuit, can take an effect on how we make decisions throughout the most important years of our lives.
Okay, now this person is just insane. There's more. There's 3 pages of this guy.
Now, when you are older and come to realize that life is wasted on wastefully not grown men, you want good men who have earned and saved and stayed away from relationships to save you. Will you find someone at your age? Most definitely. Will he have had a bad divorce and or is unwilling to commit to you? Most likely. Older men who don't have kids don't want to save the woman who made all these mistakes. They want a younger version of you who didn't. That is why Western culture can screw up women by not telling them hard truths about biology and what men want. Most men like me are leaving and finding brides in other countries that understand us. Most men don't have access to most women. Only an elite group of men do, and then the fallout is an unequal society where men are being shamed into marrying women we would never go for and or who want us to raise another man's kids.
Okay, so actually what he said towards the end, is that the whole thing?
There's of that page.
There's one more page?
There's one more page.
Read the last page. I have some things to say, but read the last page.
If a man goes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years with no access to even getting to talk with women, then a woman comes along and wants you to raise their 3 kids by 2 different men, do you see the unfairness in this situation? Well, if you're biased towards women's needs and not men's, then I can see that. If you are not attractive enough or socially awkward and give women the ick or creepy feeling, you're even more screwed. Along with unattractive as a male or just getting caught looking in a woman's direction. Men should be shamed on social media by today's standards. What you don't get, men are constantly under attack, not only by society, but also by women who don't care about them. These men can change. When they do, they can't unlive their past or how women who look like them treated us.
Is that the whole thing?
That's it.
I actually kind of feel bad for this person.
I know. I'm actually
I know. As I'm reading it, I'm like, we're being mean, but at the same time, I kind of like, okay, he needs a remedy. He needs a remedy.
Yes.
Let's give him a remedy.
All right, let's give science. Is this science gamer?
Okay, ready? First of all, I just wanted to, oh my God, it's another science book. Jeez.
Junk science gaming.
Well, you are junk science gamer. I just want to tell you. To achieve this particular goal, Hubble realized that he had to obtain a research post at whichever observatory had the best telescopes. Okay, so that had nothing to do. So I do want to talk about, there was a bunch of stuff he said, and I just wanted to hear the whole thing, but he was talking about how there's this unequalness. He's not actually wrong about this. There are studies that show this. There's this unequalness in society. Okay, dating apps illustrate this perfectly. On dating apps, you have this phenomena where a lot of the guys all the women are getting matches constantly. Women are getting matches by any woman. It doesn't matter what you look like. Women are getting tons of matches. But as far as the men go, the studies show that the men who are in the top percentile of looks are getting all the matches, and all the average guys are not getting the matches. So a lot of this literature that you're talking about was, I think it was Jordan Peterson who brought that to my attention, but I feel like there now, because he brought that to the public's attention, that many women are choosing the most attractive guys, and that leaves a lot of the average guys feeling like totally confused. He brought that to the public's attention to illustrate not that it's fucked and rigged for men. The point of him bringing that up to the public's attention was to show men that you have to work and aim towards being the top, like working towards a goal to be a better man. Like, the idea isn't to look at this study and say, well, we're fucked. Like, look at the literature. The literature says that I have to be this amazing man to get picked. No, the idea isn't to use it to avoid working on yourself. The idea is to try to become a better person. Like, there's things you could do. It's not always about looks. Like, there's so many things you could do to be a better person and get women. You can work on your passions. You know, even if you're not the best looking person, you could take care of yourself. You could take care of your health. You could work on your personality. You could work on your sense of humor. There's so many things that many guys could do to get closer to this top percentile of men who are getting selected on these dating apps. And not only that, if you avoid the dating apps and you actually go out and interact with people in real life, I feel like I see so many normal, like, they're not just, they call them chads. Like, I think it's called the black pill culture. Mm-hmm. They call them chads. And a lot of men are like, I'm not even going to bother going out to try to chase down women because I'm not a chad. I've seen so many different men who are dating women that aren't chads. I don't know. Do you have anything to say about this? Because I kind of feel bad for this guy now. Like, do you have anything to say for men who feel like the system is rigged? Like, because they're not a 10 out of 10 chad, they don't have a chance.
I just see all of this as like a cry for help. This is that's why a mental health issue. Yeah, you know.
All right, so that's the last comment that we have today. And like I said, I don't even think that was a hate comment. I think that was just a guy like venting his troubles.
Yeah.
Damn, I feel bad for this guy.
I know.
Okay, one final quote to remedy the podcast. The quote is, it's about making money. There are, of course, several ways to divide up $150. You can pay $75 to each card. You can make them in. All right, this is not inspiring. Let's pick something.
One more.
Let's pick something. Oh, let's quote Einstein. Come on.
Okay.
Let's quote Einstein. Ooh, okay. This is from a book called Quotable Einstein. So it's something Einstein said. My position concerning God is that of an agnostic. We've been talking like politically agnostic this whole time. I am convinced that a vivid consciousness of the primary importance of moral principles for the betterment and ennoblement of life does not need the idea of a lawgiver, especially a lawgiver who works on the basis of reward and punishment. That's a good one, actually. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I would have to agree with that. Where do you stand? I'm going to give like a slight little interview question for Stephanie, the assistant today. Where do you stand spiritually in your life right now?
Oh, stand spiritually.
Like, would you consider yourself spiritually agnostic, like what Einstein said?
Yeah, I guess I am spiritually agnostic. I mean, I believe in something. Like, the fact that we're living, breathing things, like, we don't really know where we came from. Like, we have a concept of God. That's what we call God. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, I guess I'm agnostic. I do believe that we get reincarnated over and over. We choose to come to Earth School for our souls to evolve and learn. And
Yeah, I would say I agree with a lot of that. The idea of reincarnation, do you feel like you're a new soul, or do you feel like you've been reincarnated a lot of times?
Oh no, I've been confirmed by mediums. I've been here for a long time. And
you do have an old soul vibe about you. I will say that.
Well, thank you.
It's like I think it's one of the reasons why, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, so many people feel comfortable around you. You're like an everybody's person. So it kind of makes sense that if you were reincarnated, that you would be an old soul.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But apparently that means like it takes forever for me to learn my lessons. So I just keep coming back.
Yeah. So the idea, I don't know if you agree with this or believe this or not, but some of the ideas behind reincarnation is that you're supposed to keep coming back till you fix these issues and you learn these lessons. And that once you learn these lessons, you will then be rid of this endless cycle of human suffering. Do you believe that?
I'm not sure. Probably. Like, I mean, I'm still learning about like what karma actually is. But I mean, I think so.
Yeah. That I remember when I was first learning about Buddhism, that was the thing that really scared me, because I was really into the stuff I was reading in the Buddhist, texts and stuff like that. And then when I got to the chapter where it was like, okay, now once you've resolved all these issues, you will just cease to exist permanently. And that freaked me out. Like I wonder, in reincarnation, does consciousness just cease to exist after that period? Like, okay, when they say we escape the endless cycle of human suffering, does that mean we just become nothing, like, period? Or is there like another realm in which the consciousness goes? Like, do you have any idea what?
I think there's other realms.
Yeah.
There's still like, there's so much that I've been like tapping into, and I just have so many questions and not enough answers. There's so much, because there's a lot of like wacky crap out there too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Okay, so that's it, guys. We had a blast, and now we're gonna end the podcast, and let's actually just cut the first cake on the video. Do you want to do the?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's cut the cake. I want one of the pieces with the icing on it. One of the sweet pieces. The pumpkin's good. The vulva. Well, she said that her cake looks like vulvas, but I think they look really good. Big. I get the whole vulva. There you go, guys. There you have it. That's Pranzata Podcast, and she's going to serve me this big piece of cake. That is Pranzata Podcast, episode number 137. If you guys enjoyed, and here's the cake if you want to take a look at it. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to hit subscribe. Again, it is my mission to be a full-time podcaster, and every single subscriber helps me get closer to the goal of that mission. And that's it. Have a good day, guys. Bye.